Let's give him a big round of applause, Duke Nukem!
Hello, 911. There's a handsome guy in my house. Oh, wait, cancel that. It's only me.
It'd be remiss of me not to cover this before the year was out. It wasn't long after the old build of Duke Nukem Forever was leaked that a collective was formed who vowed to finish the game, comprised of lovers of the big man around the world, Mighty Foot Productions. In my video covering the leaked build from back in May, I may have had some choice words about the idea of someone actually finishing this video game. You might wonder if this leaking means that the community could finish this game, give people the Duke that they wanted, but this isn't a simple mod here. Not only that, there's still a lot to be done, not just design-wise, but on the technical side too. Any enterprising community members who wanted to sort all this out and finish it would have their work cut out for them. Why, years of work likely, perhaps even working forever. I got called pessimistic for this, and frankly, how can a Duke Nukem fan not be after all these long years? But you know, it is sometimes nice to be wrong. The game isn't finished yet, but it's already beginning to take great shape. It's been such a short amount of time, yet so much effort has been put into improving the game in all fields. Visual improvements, level design, and fixing some of the many, many bugs from the unfinished build. I can actually run this game in full screen now, without having to fiddle with a bunch of wires behind the scenes. Isn't that great? I know for a fact that the team has had their work cut out for them though. An early snag I saw had them looking for someone to help with the models, which were in a proprietary format rather than the default Unreal 1 set. They had to look for people who could make a plugin for Blender to accept these custom models that, it bears mentioning, no one had ever seen before, because this game never came out. They worked things out eventually. Duke's looking better for a start. He's ridiculously huge, and his face is a little bit more on the weathered side than what we've seen before, but at least he's not some eldritch horror. Make no mistake, this is a difficult undertaking, and I've nothing but respect for those working towards this noble goal. Let's get into the actual game. The immediate thing that'll strike you playing this, though, is that we have some new Duke voice lines.
A stogie and a babe. Is that so much to ask during some R&R?
The meme man himself, Gianni Matragrano, is giving his Duke voice to this project. His performance is great, and I like that he's giving more grit to it when compared to his funnier impression videos.
Ain't that a bitch? I like the way you die, boy. What's the Wi-Fi password?
He's putting in the extra mile, and God bless you, sir. This whole slice actually has voice acting out the wazoo from all kinds of volunteers. Everyone from talk show hosts to the audience members. Even this guy Frank. Wait, but his shirt says Carl? Who are you?
And I'm afraid you can't trust anyone.
I also like that the people, at least in this first slice, feel like people, and not whatever fawning automatons were in Duke Nukem Forever's released game. And Duke 2 isn't going to undercut their trauma of an alien invasion with a dumb joke.
Look, Scotty, it's Duke! Hey, stay with me, okay? You're gonna be alright.
Keep pressure on the wound.
There's nothing funny in that line. Not even a, ugh, it's just a scratch. He's actually concerned for his safety. It's unexpected, but not unwelcome. It feels like a response to the Duke we got in the release Duke Nukem Forever, who seemed so full of himself and uncaring about his fellow man that sometimes he came off a little psychotic. I might have hated Dylan, but they were apparently friends, so Duke quipping over his death was a little weird. So Duke's actually being human? A hero even? Crazy.
Do that. My balls feel lighter.
But Duke one-liners are only one part of the Duke Nukem formula, and the other is killing aliens stone dead.
Some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill.
How's that? It's good. The shooting was actually pretty good from just the original version, and it's still satisfying and fun here, but it feels improved with the addition of level design that's iterated past the placeholder stages we saw before. This preview build covers the first chapter of the game, including 10 levels, which have seen improvements and changes across the board. If you played the leaked build, a few things may surprise you, and I'd say how these early levels are paced is way better than what was here previously. It's snappier, yet sells the sense of danger much better, as well as guiding and teaching the player much more effectively. You know, because there's level design here, rather than just empty boxes. I was confused when the elevator in the Lady Killer no longer opened to the burning building, but came out to a side room that I had to kick my way through. In the leaked build, we didn't see any enemies until we hit the roof level, but here, we get to fight zombie-infected citizens before we get there, even having to fight some before we get a gun. The mighty foot is useful in this! There's probably more polishing to still be done, but as a statement of intentions, this all feels good. All the impressive stuff from before is still here, like the weirdly hypnotic and detailed glass shattering, and the intricate body and limb jibbing. We have the added benefit here, though, that the game performs much better. Well, usually better anyway. I'm using the DirectX 9 renderer, and while most levels were seemingly flawless, the casino level had the most struggles. To be fair, look at the size of this room. What's also cool is music? Music composed for the game by Brandon Bloom? So soon, accompanying these fights? I feel like an idiot mentioning it, because of course a video game has music, but it's strange going from these accompaniments when I still have the memory in my head of the old build, and the eerie silence that surrounded it all. Like, it all took place in liminal space. If you liked exploring those old levels, you can actually go back to them and play them in this demo. They're still here. I am much better at the bike this time around, and I feel like an idiot for complaining about it in the old video. I'll blame recovering from COVID for that. They also removed the, risque material from that old build, so, don't bother looking for that. Also featured in the demo is working multiplayer, and also a fully functional map editor. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I really like what they called it. The only piece of criticism I have for the whole demo is that the EDF soldiers with the assault rifles are maybe a hair too accurate and likely to pepper me the instant I come on screen. I'm fine with difficulty, but I probably shouldn't be reminded of Blood's cultists. I don't know if they've been touched since the original version though. I know the pig cops have. They're here! Oh boy, Duke's making bacon tonight! Honestly, my biggest takeaway and my biggest praise for the Duke Nukem Forever 2001 restoration project is right there in the name. 2001 Restoration. They're trying to make a game that is authentic to a 2001 shooter, not changing the design to go back to the Duke Nukem 3D way of things, or making it like modern boomer shooters, and especially nowhere near the Frankenstein's monster of design ideas that the released game is, but instead a genuine earnest attempt at finishing a Duke Nukem game that could have come out in the early 2000s. Nothing feels untrue or out of place, and personally, I love that. This demo shows to me that we have the right people on board making this project, and I really hope we get to see the finished project one day. See Duke, as we've always wanted to see him.
Get that crap out of here.
You can download this from ModDB from the link in the description below, and I genuinely do recommend checking this out if it looks like your bag. That's all for now. Merry Christmas, everyone. Thank you all for watching, and thank you for my patrons for their support. Patrons get to ask questions in Q&A sections, which we'll get into right now. Actually, before we start, I'd like to address a previous question that was asked. Where is the Signalis review? I said in a video or two, but it's been a video or two and there's still no Signalis review. Truth is, that project is getting delayed somewhat. I'm still actively working on it, but it's turning into a bit of a beast. I think it'll be worth the wait though. It'll be a special one. If not for YouTube, what job would you have, and did you ever have a dream job? Well, before I was doing YouTube, I was working at this hedgehog rescue place near me, but it was kind of soul-destroying work. There are a lot of hedgehogs who just aren't going to make it, and the veterinary staff were like naming them, and it was a lot. But dream job, well, as a kid I always wanted to be an author, but I think if I wanted to achieve that, it's going to require an attention span that is currently not available to me. Maybe one day I'll be able to get what I need to do it, but ah well. That's all for now. Once again, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to you all. Bye.
Don't have time to play with myself. I guess I do have time to play with myself.